Hi everyone, I am going to show you some sales highlights across eBay over the last few months that I think you might be interested in. They're usually over $50, so stick around and I'll show you some great bolos. This is a vintage set of printed mirrors. Could not find any online. They were free to me and very Italian Venetian style. They were kind of a pain to ship. I do have another set, but was happy with the $65 sale. I'm very selective with the brand Sam Edelman, but these were very steampunk equestrian vibes. So I did go ahead and pick those up for a whole $4. It did take 7 months to sell, but I was happy with this sale as well. They had very detailed snaps, and here is the brand tag in case you're not familiar with this brand, but I'm sure you are if you resell. This vintage bikini was adorable with the floral print. It did take a year and a half to sell, so do keep that in mind, and was $4, sold for $65. The elastic was disintegrated in the bottoms. I did note that in the description. That's why in all capitals I have read, and it had the faux wrap skirt. Here is the tag, Cole of California, which does help me date it according to how it was made, the materials, style, etc. Here's a rare collab with LL Bean and Lands, which is Lands of Salzburg. They're known for their flannel novelty print pajamas, and these did not disappoint. They sold rather quickly, I believe within 1 week. I paid $5, and they sold for $60. Keep in mind the tag, as this is uncommon for LL Bean when Lands. This vintage 80s building block set I initially got from my 10-year-old son. He was not very impressed. I got it at a yard sale for $5. The person told me that it was a complete set. However, that was super false. There were like 3 or 4 different sets. So I decided to just lot it together and let it go. It was only $5, and I did take probably 10 minutes of my time to sort. So do keep that in mind. Some things do take time, like big sets like this. However, I was happy to just find it a home. It took about a month to sell and had some really cool pieces. Moving on to this 70s sunbonnet quilt. It did take 7 months to sell. I paid $3 for it. Linens do typically have a longer tail sale, but I'm totally okay with $100. Holly Hobby style with the sunbonnet is very popular, and I have sold all of the Holly Hobby styles. Make sure you get it correct. Even I may have misspelled that. Also, feel free to pick up damaged linens. They do still sell as this one. Now, I'm going to show you how I do flat rate shipping the cheapest. So I just always, these heavier, bigger items, I go to Pirate Ship. They have amazing rates. That's how I always ship through Etsy. Here is my zip code. Now, I live in the Midwest in Illinois, so I always do to California, which is typically the furthest. I've only shipped to Hawaii a few times. So in here, I'm putting the exact measurements in the poly mailer. I also saran wrap it to make it as small as possible. Keep that in mind. I measure it, as it is very important to know the accurate measurements. If it's above 18 inches, there's an additional fee. So do keep that in mind. I did have to put it in a box, even though it wasn't, because it was over 18 inches. 6 pounds. Now here you have your rates. Whew, $25. So I do not overcharge for shipping past the Pirate Ship fee. I also want to make note, as an 8-year reseller veteran, I still make mistakes. For some reason, I only charge $15, probably thinking this was 18 inches or under, but because of the extra charge of it being a bigger item, they actually underpaid by $10. Here's a rare Maeve for Anthropology, new with tag, 1X sweater dress, sold for offer to sent to watcher for $88. I was very happy with that. Sold within about a week, and I paid $5. As you can see, it retailed for $148, so great return. This unique duck hand knit sweater sold for $60. It took almost 2 years to sell. It was insane. I'm not sure if I used the wrong keywords, but it was really cute if you're into that farm core. Had bows and was in wonderful condition. Unique linens can take time to sell. These geisha Asian 70s linens. I believe were new without tags. They were still crisp with the inspection code on them. Sold for $150. Again, 7 months to sell, but a great return on investment. They were really gorgeous if you were into that oriental look. Oh my goodness, one of a kind, could not find any online, so I just aimed high, $5 into $150. This is also something I thought would sell super fast. I had lots of watchers on it initially. It was new. The plastic seal had come undone, and some of the stickers I did have to re-glue as they lost their adhesive, but these are Y2K. And I initially started at over 100. If I was smart, I should have listed them individually for about 25 a piece. But again, $72. This Pottery Barn wool blanket was sent offer to watchers, sold for $117. It was given to me, again, it took over a year to sell, but I was happy, very festive with the red plaid Pottery Barn. I believe this is an older tag, has a nice blanket stitch, super heavy, 6 pounds. Again, I used pirate ship. Let's see if I underpaid. Note there are some flaws, I think including a small hole. This throw sold in 10 days. Again, no comps on eBay. It was very rare, and this used to be sold in Good Housekeeping magazine. I got another one too, but this one is the first one that sold, which kind of surprised me. Very happy with the sale, $4 into it. It sold for $60. Now you want to make sure when something's new in the package, it's actually new, because sometimes people will use it and keep it in the package and put it back in the package when they donate it. I got this over the summer for $1. If you remember, it actually fell out of my purse while I was yard selling and I almost lost it. So it sold for a whole $200, which blows my mind because I think it was only worth 80 some in its weight in gold, but Italian gold is supposed to be the best in the world, so they say. It was marked. I always show clear pictures of the markings, and I also weigh it versus grams. Now, my scale is not the best, but I do take pictures, and if there's a range, I do note that. Here's an example of mixed comps and why you should not do auctions for almost everything. You can see the range of prices, and the low ones are, of course, auctions. Mine shows it sold for $130 there, actually $117. So keep that in mind when you're researching comps that offers do not show. Certain Patagonia pieces have great resale value. This is a bolo, so make sure to take note. It's a mini messenger bag. It's like a waxed canvas. Great colorway. I think that might have helped sell it actually. Beautiful condition, you guys. $2. Again, I'm from a rural area, so not much is marked up depending on its location. But again, I take a million pictures, probably too many when I cross post. Not all can actually show on all the platforms. These hokas sold in one day, guys, for $85. This style is very popular, and it was an awesome size of a men's 13. They're in great shape. I always show the sole, especially in sneakers, and was very happy to get that much money out of them. I paid a few dollars, and as you can see, they were hardly worn. This suede jacket I had for far too long. As you can see, 2 years and 1 month. I did recently take pictures of it being worn on me, as I do think modeling some clothing can't help it sell, and I believe that is why it did sell. I've had low offers, but did hold out just because this was an awesome jacket. I paid $5 for it, was rather heavy, and it sold for $125. Here's a sunglasses bolo brand, Gargoyles. I believe it was made popular because Arnold Schwarzenegger wore these in Terminator, but is not the exact style, just the brand. As you can see, Gargoyles has a red tinted lens, rounded, sporty look. It did come with its original case. I got these for $5, not knowing, but I did look them up because it was branded and was shocked, and they sold so fast. 3 days is all it took to sell, and they sold for $200, full price. I believe this may have been a rare colorway, and I am so happy. Here's a $60 baby quilt. Had a teddy bear riding on a rocking horse. I buy these almost always, and I do look them up by Google Lens to price accordingly. If I don't see anything, I typically shoot for $50 to $75, even if it has flaws, because most have stains. Let's just face it, it's vintage. I learned a new brand for clothing, J. Peterman. This style typically does better than others. It always goes by style and possibly if it's vintage, so do always check. I'll show the tag here in a second, but this is a very classic old money, which seems to be very popular right now. I do put old money in the themes for eBay. This dress sold for $60, but I've seen others sell for close to $100. These Thomas the Train Ertl sets sold for $70 best offer. I had them listed for $100, but I had them listed for almost a year. Here's a close-up. I had these in my death pile during COVID for probably 3 years. Paid $10 at a yard sale a long time ago, and finally got them listed in January, and they sold for $70. These sunglasses are adorable, and they sold within a few days for $125. They were $1 to thrift, so a nice quick flip and very gorgeous. And to use Photo Room AI backgrounds for unique vintage items or seasonal to just make it pop, and I think this looks adorable. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on my next video where I do my Etsy highlight sales. Have a great day.